Okay, so there isn't much more left. So we have the decrypt function. Let me just go ahead and format this a little bit. There we go. We have the decrypt function here, and this part might be a little bit strange to you because the same variable has been utilized twice, basically. So you first declare it, then you stream the contents of the file into it, and then you say that then you substitute everything in data with the decrypt by. Okay, let's take another shot at this, at what this line does. Okay, so you have a decrypt B64 and you pass the string data to it. Then you decrypt whatever is in that string and then you put it back into the data string. So this was done simply to, I don't know, conserve resources. Because then you would need to declare another string and you would just type it in like this in order to save the resources, to save yourselves from having to declare another string. On this decryption program that is this small, it really makes little to no difference, but it's just a coding habit that stays with you and it's very difficult to get rid of, and there's no point to get rid of it because it's very effective. On a larger scale project, it saves a ton of resources. For example, in Java, that is the difference between, well, not that, but that same concept would apply to the applications which do the same things. For example, you have two games, and one game wastes your battery like a lunatic, and the other one basically doesn't waste your battery. So, yeah, you just get used to writing code in a certain way to conserve RAM, to make the program as small as possible, and to save on the usage of the system resources. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue. Enough of that. So now we need the output file. So OF stream, I don't know, FO, and we're going to name this one, and this is going to be out. So we're going to initialize this, just going to use out here, which is initialized to the second argument. And then we're going to do basically a check down below. So FO, and if there is nothing in the FO, let's go ahead and return cannot write output file. So, well, perhaps that's a crude statement to say if there is nothing, as long as it is nothing for whatever reason. Maybe it cannot create it. Maybe you don't have the permissions. Maybe something else failed and it did create the file, but it's empty. Blah blah blah. Not just that it's empty. It's there is some sort of problem and it cannot read the file, which will basically mean that the return is actually false. The return will be interpreted as false, and if it is false, then go ahead and return. We're gonna just get a C out here to know what happened. So cannot write output file. Okay. And then we're going to do out, and we're going to go ahead and get the single quote here as well, just like before, and L, and the return code will be 5. Okay. So down below, FO. Data. Yep, so we're now outputting from FO we're outputting from data into FO file. File descriptor, that is. Which stands for a file, basically. In the crudest sense of the word, I guess. Data. And let's close it. So we're taking now the decrypted string data, whatever is contained in that string is decrypted information, and we want to put it into a file so that we have it for safekeeping, I guess, or whatever. The cout, the coding was oh god, the coding was successful. close quote marks, and we're gonna type in std colon colon and L. And of course we need to do this across the board because I'm kind of stupid with these things. std colon. I'm missing one here. Colon and std colon here. So I'm missing here and I'm missing one here. God. It's like I completely forgot that I need to actually utilize it. There we go. So now it should be fine. Let me just, oh, I have a spelling error here. So yep. So just remove one L. And add an additional S. Okay, there we go. So decoding was successful, and go into the next line, return 0. So hopefully this is going to work. This is the entire code needed for decoding, decrypting that is. And we're gonna go ahead and, well, it's actually decoding and decrypting because base64 is an encoding process, but since we've added salts, it's actually encrypting as well. So we need to decode and decrypt. Anyway, we now need to basically run this program, compile this program, and we're gonna do that with Control B. No, doesn't work. So let's just build and run. Error: base64 decode was not declared in this scope. Error: salt2, salt3, salt1 was not declared in this scope. Base std string. Okay. Right. So I have not declared the salts here. So let's go back to GitHub and grab the salts. So this is salt1, salt2, salt3. So let's just pull them from here. And I don't know, put them like here. Well, actually, let's put them above the function. Okay, so Control S. Let's go ahead and build it now. Base64 underscore decode. Okay, right. Missing a semicolon here. Okay, let's save it again and run it. What does it say now? Error: base64 was not declared in this scope. S. Okay, no big deal. What we're missing is S equals salt1 plus salt2 plus salt3, blah, blah, blah. And, or not. Let me just see. std string base64 decode. Okay, this is a function. So base64 underscore decode is another function from here. This is base64 encode, and I need the base64 decode. So we just need another function. Need to plug it in. So just go ahead and copy it. I think it's here. Yep, it should be here. So Control C. As I said, I've written this a while ago, and I've completely, and it's been a very long time since I've written it. Okay, so let's just go ahead and copy paste this here. Format it a little bit. And then basically just pull this as well. So Control C. Okay, paste it here, semicolon. Control S. Let's build and run now. Okay, let's see what the problem is now. So error: expected primary expression before int that was not declared in this scope. Base64 code was not declared in this scope. This was not declared in this scope. That was not declared in this scope. And yeah, we need to do this as well. include vector. Okay, let's see if the same errors are going to pop now. Nope, we have a different error. So base 64, let me just see what's written here. Base 64 codes. Okay, let's see what we're missing. Okay, let's go up. Okay, we're missing the string for the base 64 encoding. Okay, no big deal. I can plug that in just as easily. Let's go back home. So const string, Control S. Excellent, there we go. So now we're just missing the actual arguments. I don't know, press enter, but yeah. Oops. Okay, so now we're just missing the actual arguments and the code is done. So just save it. You actually, if you just minimize this, now that we've actually built and ran it, if you go to the folder where you have actually saved this, I've saved mine to desktop. So here we go, decrypt. If I go here and if I go bin debug, I will have the decrypt.exe. And in the follow-up tutorial, we're going to do some decryption. So all the functions and all the strings that I've pulled from GitHub, you have access to them as well. And they are explained in great detail in the previous lectures of the course. So don't worry about that. If you don't understand it, just go back a few tutorials. I have explained them in great detail there. Here for the decryption process, I figured I wouldn't explain them twice. I would just pull them and paste them into here so I wouldn't have to retype everything back up again and so that you wouldn't have to retype everything again. So if you have changed your salts, you need to make appropriate modifications here. If you have changed the encryption process, you need to make the proper modifications to the decrypt B64, and you shouldn't have made any changes to the base 64 encoding because that's like standardized algorithm that is used. Okay, so with that, we have created it, compiled it, ran it, and now we're gonna actually do a test run. I'm gonna have a file which is encrypted by the keylogger, and I'm going to use this program in order to decrypt that particular file. That I'm going to do in the follow-up tutorial.